Hey, what's up guys? Gary G back again with another video, and today I got you out in the field with me to show you a simple $100 an hour strategy that you can use, a service that you can provide your customers, and you can start today. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and stick around. Let's go. All right, so the service that I'm talking about here is what I would call my 1-year paint protection. What that's gonna be is I'm gonna do a full paint decontamination. I'm gonna do iron remover. I'm gonna do an APC rinse. I'm gonna do acid on the wheels. I'm gonna do the full 9 to get everything off with the clay bar. The reason we're doing that, we're gonna lay down a paint sealant, a 1-year paint sealant. This is Daddy-O by Shine Supply. And I'm gonna do a 1-step paint polish on this before I lay that down. So first steps are gonna be to do the wheels, and then I'm gonna move to the paint. So let's go ahead and do it. We're gonna go ahead and throw some iron remover. This is Nano Skin Iron Off. I like this stuff because it's a gel, so it clings really well. We're gonna see if we can get anything going on this wheel. Okay, so of course you get some iron coming off on the brake pads themselves, on the rotors, of course, on the face of the wheels and the barrels. I don't really see anything. So this is an indication that I don't need to do iron remover on the wheels, and probably won't have to do it on the paint. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go and do the lower panels at least, just to see if anything turns purple. I'm gonna do the back of the trunk, kind of go from there. Okay, so one of the things that you want to do when you're testing for if you need to do iron remover, the rear end is always a place where everything circulates, so you're going to get a lot of iron deposits along the sides on the lower rocker panels. I did all the way around this vehicle. We're going to let it sit for a little bit and see if we get any bleeding. If we get any bleeding, then we know we got to do the whole vehicle. If we don't, totally skip the iron removal process. Okay, so we've had this iron remover here on for a couple of minutes. I don't see anything, not a single bit of bleeding, not even a single piece on either side. So in this case, we know this vehicle is not going to have to be covered in iron remover. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off. Okay, so you're going to notice a little bit of water beading on this paint. The reason that is the customer used a turtle wax soap. It's the new one from Costco. I'll put it up on here what it is, but it lays down a layer of wax, and you can see that it's causing a good amount of water beading. So I'm gonna go ahead and strip that off with my soap concoction. I'm gonna show you how I do that. All right, so I got my Max Shine foam can in here. I'm really liking this one. I'm testing this one out. But anyways, I have a couple ounces of Chemical Guys Clean Slate in here, water, and then believe it or not, a couple ounces of Super Clean. You know how much I like Super Clean. This is what I usually use for my APC rinse. But if you want to make things faster, you can supercharge your soap by putting some sort of APC of your choice in the foam cannon. Do both processes at once. All right, so you're still able to get a lot of foam from this concoction here, as you see. I'm gonna let it dwell on there for about a minute or two. Then I'm gonna actually just go in and do my contact, and then we're gonna rinse it off, and then we're gonna start getting into the fun stuff. All right, so this is the part of the detail where you need to decide if you're going to clay bar. So you don't always have to clay bar. In fact, I wouldn't clay bar unless you have to, or at least unless you're gonna follow up with a polish. We're gonna follow up with a polish, but let me show you what I mean. You need to start feeling these lower panels. So you take your gloves, feel along here. If you feel anything embedded or gridded on there, then that's an indication that you should clay bar. Listen to this. Nothing. Very smooth. Another area where you might need a clay bar is on top surfaces. So on the hood, listen here. I'm gonna go ahead and clay bar the hood just because that sound, how it sounds kind of rough. We're gonna go ahead and do a clay bar, maybe on the top too. So I would imagine the trunk as well. Yeah, believe it or not, the trunk feels pretty good. Okay, back here. You can hear that. So let's get that. Okay, so with everything clay barred, all the top surfaces, what you're gonna wanna see is this. See how flat that paint is? There's no beading or sheeting. That means that it's ready to grab on to whatever protection you're putting on. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you do a thorough dry on the paint. You're not gonna want anything creeping out on you once you start doing the polishing stage, because there's gonna be a lot of vibration going on. It's gonna be very likely that any water that's trapped in areas such as around the mirrors, door jambs, in the grill area like that, there's a good chance that it's gonna come out on you while you're doing your polishing step, and it's just gonna get really messy. So you wanna make sure to go through and thoroughly get all the water out, all the cracks. All right, so now we're into everybody's favorite part. This is polishing. As you can see, I've got a whole array of polishers and pads, and I got a ton of different compounds. You don't have to make it that difficult. I just have this all out to show everything that you can use. So my main tool that I'm gonna be using is the Rupes LHR Mark III, the 21, I believe that's what it's called. 21 inch, or 21 millimeter, I should say. Hey, this is in Lake Country CCS pad. It's just got the little dimples in there. I like these for one steps. They're kind of like a medium to firm. So I'm gonna use that for most of the surfaces. This is my MacShine M15 Pro, which also has a Lake Country HDO, just black pad for applying Daddy-O sealant. This is what I usually use to apply the sealant. I've got a Griots, the 3-inch, also with a CCS pad from Lake Country. This is what I'm gonna use for like the lower rocker panels or around where the trunk is to get into those tight areas. And then if you really need to, you got your 1-inch or 2-inch, you know, whatever you have on there. This is, I believe, an Adams one. This was actually gifted to me by my good friend Joel from Details. Shout out to you, Joel, thank you. As far as what I'm gonna be using, 3D1, great one-step polish. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about some business. What I'm saying is this is a really good service to implement in your business because you're making roughly about $100 an hour. This took me about 5 hours. Charge the customer $500. This is the second vehicle of his that I've done this on. So obviously he sees value in what I'm doing. I have a lot of people hit me up and say, how do I start paint correction? How do I start this? How do I start that? The short answer is just do it. How do I get started in ceramic coating? Do it. There's really no other way to say it. You just got to go out there and do it. Don't be afraid. You might mess up, you might not. All right, so polishing is all done. The vehicle's looking great. I took out a lot of the concern areas that the customer had as far as some of these side panels here. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to panel prep, meaning isopropyl alcohol mix. This is Wipe Out by Chemical Guys. It's actually a pretty good surface cleanser. I know it's Chemical Guys, but it's a pretty good surface cleanser. So I'm going to do this on the whole vehicle. After this, we're going to machine apply Daddy-O paint sealant by Shine Supply. Let that sit for about 30 minutes while we do all the finishing touches. So cleaning the glass, tire shine, hitting the rims, making sure everything's perfect. So let's go ahead. All right guys, so that's it. We just got done with the 1-year paint protection service I told you about. What you didn't see off camera was while I let the paint sealant bake in, I like to go back and do the glass. I like to go back and touch up the wheels, do the tire shine, all the finishing touches to make sure that as soon as I'm ready to wipe this off, everything's done and I can just get out of here. Now remember, it's about efficiency. Time is money. You want to get in and out, do the best service that you can for your customers. and then you want to move on to the next one. If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments down below. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Even if you don't have a service or a business, this is something that you could do for yourself at your house. It's very easy to do. It just takes an afternoon, and you can make yourself some good amount of money, or you could, like I said, you could save some money by doing it by yourself. So thank you guys again for coming back to another video. I appreciate you guys. Peace. Stay slick.